Hello everyone, this is Crystal, and this month, part of the Maymaymadeit design team, we have a new challenge to make fancy fold cards. So for this one I chose what's called the vertical stretch card. And as you see, you open it and it comes up and it stretches. And it fits in a 4¼ by 5½ inch card. And for this card, I used a stamp set: Pumpkin Head, Alphabet Bold, Thankful, Grateful, and Blessed, and Blessings. So, let me show you how I made this. I first started out with a pumpkin head stamp, and I stamped pumpkins using my black VersaFine ink. And then I used the Alphabet Bold and I stamped the letters fall inside the pumpkins. I also did it out of a burgundy ink to see what I would like, but I ended up going with the black on black. And here I am fussy cutting it out. Now I'm taking a sheet of beige cardstock that is 4x4, and I'm taking my distressed oxide inks, and I'm using carved pumpkin, and I'm just going on the cardstock. And now I'm adding my fossilized amber, and I also use wild honey and frayed burlap to make the design for the background on this card. And I added some barn door red too. I just was trying to use fall colors, and I was just dabbing them on and overlapping them and just playing with ink and just putting it down and seeing what it would look like. And then I took my heat gun and I dry set it to make sure all the inks were completely dry. And here I'm taking my aqua painter and I'm just kind of tapping it on my finger and slapping to get little drops. And I got some pretty big ones, so I dabbed them off with my towel. And now I'm going to take my heat gun and dry it back off again. And now I'm taking my Wink of Stella, and I thought I would go over the pumpkins and give them a little bit of a shimmer. But what I didn't realize, these are the ones that I used my Memento black ink on for the outside of the pumpkin. And so the black bled a little bit, but that was okay because it gave them a more artsy feel and it made them look kind of distressed. So I was happy with it. So now I'm just trying to arrange these pumpkins to see how I would want them on the front of the card. And now I'm taking the stamp from the stamp set Blessings, and I'm cutting it apart because I just really wanted the word that said Blessings. And I cut it apart, but then the other words I couldn't get them apart. So what I did is I decided to mask them over with a little bit of Post-it notes. And so I'll tear off the Post-it notes for the top and the bottom and put them on there. And then I'll stamp it with a VersaFine black ink. And after I get them stamped, then I'll pull off the Post-it notes and I will stamp it. First I was going to try it out on and it worked really good. So then I had to remask it and do it again. But at least I knew it would work. Okay, we'll try it again. And take the mask off and stamp Blessings. And the only thing that didn't come out real good was the dot for the eye, but that's easily remedied with a marker. So I thought that looked pretty good. So here I am taking my art glitter glue and I'm gluing down my pumpkins and arranging them and layering them. So I wanted to make sure that they would all fit. And then I moved that one pumpkin, and when I did, I kind of messed it up because it's distressed oxide ink, and it also works with your wet glue. So it left a little blotchy spot back there which wouldn't come out. So later you'll see that I put leaves on my pumpkins, which was to kind of hide that mess up spot behind my pumpkins. And here I'm taking my brown cardstock, which measures 4¼ by 11, and I'm scoring it at 2½, 3½, 6¾ and 8¼ and I'm folding them back and forth in mountain and valley folds, and this will be the base of our card. And then I'm taking a piece of gold metallic poster board that measures 4 by 4, and I'm going to attach it to the back of our card front using glue dots, as art glitter glue doesn't work that well on metallic. And here I'm taking another piece of 3¾ by 3¾ beige cardstock, and I'm using the same color inks that I used on the other part of the card, just laying them down in a little different fashion, and just keep going around, going around. Now I didn't use the frayed burlap on this part. I used it to stamp off and on with the leaves. And I took several of the small stamps from the stamp set Blessings, and I used the gathered twigs and the bundled sage, and I stamped off first and then stamped it on. Going back and forth with it, just adding all different kinds. And then I took it and I took a piece of gold metallic poster board and I attached it to the back of it, just like I did the other piece with glue dots, and then that piece was finished. And here I just went ahead and started gluing down the fronts of my cards. So for this card, I normally glue it on the back. This time I glued the front on because, as you see, the front part overlaps the second. And then I did the second part there, so it overlaps. And see how it pulls down straight. Now here I took a piece of metallic poster board that was 2½ by 4 inches, and I just went ahead and glued it down on the base of the card before I added the front or even made the front. And here I took a piece of beige cardstock that was 3¾ by 2¼ and I took yellow ink and went around it. I think it was a fossilized amber. And here I'm deciding what stamp to use, and I took this stamp with a grateful heart with my VersaFine ink, and I put it in the center of the middle section. And then on the bottom part I decided to use For You, which came from Happy Fall Y'all, and I'm attaching it with glue dots. So here I'm taking my black VersaFine ink and one of the stamp sets from Blessings, and I stamped it out. Now I'm taking my alcohol markers and I'm using my Pear Pizzazz and my Granny Apple Green, because I wanted some to be lighter and some to be darker leaves, so they look like some of them are kind of highlighted and some were like in shadows. And I'm taking my black marker and going around the edges of the leaves just to give them a more finished look. And I took my art glitter glue and I just glued them in back behind the pumpkins and just to finish them off. And now the project is finished. And here's the front of the card, and then when you pull it up and pull it down, you see how it stretches out for the rest of the sentiments.